Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It's Lemurian Donna Carroll, and I'm very happy to be with you here today. I hope you're all doing great, and I want you to know that I appreciate you listening to my videos, and I appreciate you being open to channeled messages. And today I have a new entity that I would like to bring through. And that entity is very famous in the United States or North America, and she is known as the white buffalo calf woman. Okay, so I don't know that much about her, but I have heard the story, and I want to read the story to you in case you don't know who she is. So this is from Wikipedia, and the story is that 19 generations ago, there was a time of famine. The chief of the Lakota sent out 2 scouts to hunt for food. While the young men traveled, they saw a white cloud in the distance. Then from the cloud, they saw a woman. As they approached, they saw that it was a beautiful young native woman in white buckskin. She had dark hair, skin, and eyes. One of the men was filled with lust for the woman. He approached her, telling his companion he would attempt to claim her as a wife. His companion warned him that she appeared to be a sacred woman, and to do anything sacrilegious would be dangerous and disrespectful, but his advice was ignored. The second man watched as the first approached and embraced the woman, during which time the cloud enveloped the pair. When the cloud disappeared, only the mysterious woman and a pile of the first man's bones remained. The remaining man was frightened and began to draw his bow, but the holy woman beckoned to him forward, telling him that no harm would come to him, as she could see his heart, and he did not have the motives the first man had. As the woman spoke Lakota, the young man decided she was one of his people and came forward. At this time, the woman explained that she was Wakan, holy, having spiritual and supernatural powers. She further explained that if he did as she instructed, his people would rise again. The scout promised to do what she instructed and was told to return to his encampment, called the council, and prepare a feast for her arrival. She taught the Lakota 7 sacred ceremonies to protect the Mother Earth, and gave them the sacred ceremonial pipe. The 7 ceremonies are, I'm just going to say these in English: the Purification Lodge, the Vision Quest, the Sun Dance, the Making of Relatives, a female puberty ceremony, the throwing of the ball, and soul keeping. Each part of the pipe, the stem, the bowl, the tobacco, the breath, and the smoke, is symbolic of the relationships of the natural world, the elements, humans, and the spiritual beings that mention the cycle of the universe. So it's kind of a interesting story, and I have a feeling that woman was Prime Creator, because Prime Creator appears to many different peoples all over the world in ways that they relate to. So we'll see what she has to say. I'm going to bring her in and see what her message is for us today. But I do want to say that Lakota spirituality is so prevalent. The Sioux have been very, very influential in their spiritual ways, not just with other indigenous people, but people all over the world. There's people all over the world that do vision quests, that go to sweat lodges, that smoke peace pipes. I mean, it's just huge. So I feel like this information that she entrusted to the Sioux is very universal, because many, many people are attracted to it. I went to a sweat lodge myself, I think the first one in September, and I've never been to one before, and it was pretty amazing experience. So I've been to two of them, and at some point I am going to do a vision quest. And there's so many people that use tobacco to cleanse their auras, and many people use the sacred medicine of peyote and mushrooms and ayahuasca to get closer to spirit. So, I mean, I don't think the Lakota were doing ayahuasca, but what I'm trying to say is that the ceremonies have been are very remarkable and very prevalent in many cultures all across the world. So, without further ado, I'd like to say hi to Unconditional Love. Thank you for being here. I'm going to try and bring in this entity and see if she has a message for us here today. Okay. And I just want to add that there's other deities in North American indigenous culture, like Sweet Medicine Woman, and in Arkansas, in Manitowoc, there's the Rainbow Woman, who oversees the sacred vapors and the sacred caves of that region. So it seems like they have a lot of very powerful feminine deities, which is also very interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in my guides. One moment. I would like to bring in a message from White Buffalo Calf Woman. I'd like to call in my guides, the archangels, Ariel, Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel. I bring in 10,000 warrior protection angels all around me. Please block all negative entities, energies, thought forms. I would like to bring in the entity of White Buffalo Calf Woman. I would like her to speak today. And I ask the Lemurian Mother Goddess to oversee and overlight this channeled message today. Thank you so much. Greetings, this is White Buffalo Calf Woman, as I am known in your modern day culture. And yes, it is true that I am a fragment or a representation of Prime Creator, who came to the Lakota approximately 2,000 years ago to teach them and to guide them in the ways of spirit. As an open-hearted people, and as a people who respected Mother Earth and respected Spirit, Great Spirit, I was very accepted into their culture, and they embraced my teaching of the peace pipe and the other ceremonies that they still practice today. All people suffer, and it is true that the Sioux or the Lakota have suffered much in their long history in North America. But through it all, their resilience and their identity remained intact. And now they for the most part, have decided to embrace the ways of peace and the ways of universal love and acceptance so that they can move into a higher aspect of themselves. I gave them the ceremonial peace pipe so that they would have a physical thing to touch, to feel, and to smoke, to bring the memory of not only my presence, but the idea of creating peace within their own tribe and peace within themselves and other tribes so that they could start leaving their warrior stance and embrace a new reality of peace, mutual understanding, and respect for all peoples. They were hunter-gatherers, and so they lived a hard life, and they were dependent upon Mother Earth, and they knew the ways of nature, the ways of the wind, the ways of the animals, and the ways of the grasses. These people have suffered so much because, in a sense, they were going through the process of being reborn. And they are currently going through the process of being reborn. They are going to bring my energy back to this planet in a whole new way, as I have been slowly coming to them, bringing messages of peace from sending white buffalo calves into their midst since the 1990s. These are signs of my presence and my growing commitment to come back and bring new and more evolved messages to the Lakota people, who I love very much. I want to say that my love for the Lakota extends to all peoples, and I am wanting to bring my messages to all peoples, which is the message of mutual brotherhood, sisterhood, peace, and non-resistance. No good comes of violence. When one tribe attacks another, or when people kill sacrilegiously for sport or for enjoyment, there is a disrespect for life that goes against universal law and the law of the Creator. Human beings are evolving, and soon they will be evolving out of the need to kill anything for their existence. And that would mean killing of animals as well. It is time for human beings to grow up, to understand that they are star children. They come from the stars, and many Lakota have a direct link to the Pleiades. They will return to the stars. They are here on Earth. They are on a journey to perfect themselves, to become diamonds out of coal, to become pure, compassionate beings of the light, who their ancestors were and are in the Pleiades. It is time for people to wake up, Understand that they are light beings. Understand that they have a duty to protect and love Mother Earth and to treat her with all respect and to respect all the living things that walks or swims or crawls upon her surface. Nothing is disposable. Nothing here is not of value. Every form of life, every blade of grass, every corn stalk has value. Life has value, however it manifests. And until that mutual love and respect for all life upon the planet is within the heart of the human being, things upon this planet will not change. You must open your hearts and embrace life, however it manifests, upon your walk. You must see that life as part of yourself, not the other. You must see all life forms having a right to exist. There is no lesser or greater. You are all moving on an evolutionary scale to higher levels of consciousness. And many of you have spent eons of time evolving on this planet. And you have been plants and animals and so-called lesser forms of life. It is a duty for so-called higher forms of life to lift up and to raise up, to protect and to nurture so-called lower forms of life, as that is what is done for you every second, every moment of every day. Every day, the masters, the so-called gods in the sky, the angels, they are all working for you, blessing you, praying for you, lifting you up. And in return, we ask that you do that for your brethren here on this planet. When respect of life becomes predominant, the primary motivation, the primary skill, and the primary action in this world is when this world will change. And this has to happen one person at a time. The indigenous tribes of North and South America have a great respect for Mother Earth. It is time for all humanity to come to this conclusion that the Mother is worth loving, worth protecting, worth honoring. When you do this, the Mother will respond in turn and give you great gifts of spirit that you cannot even imagine today. So I am here to tell you that when you open your heart, all life opens its heart to you. It is a revolving door, not a one-way street. We have waited many, many years for humanity to change. And it is true that many of you are changing at this time of the great shift of consciousness. We bless this. We want this. And we support you in any way that we can so that you can open your hearts fully without fear. Fear is the enemy. Fear is an illusion. When you are tied to the Great Spirit, you have nothing to fear. I want you to go in peace. Think about opening your hearts to all of nature. And we ask that you bless yourselves with the water, with the air and with the land beneath your feet. I love you. This is White Buffalo Calf Woman, and I send you a blessing from Spirit that will open your heart. And now this channel will return. Wow, okay, so I want to thank White Buffalo Woman for coming through. That was a new entity for me to channel, and it was, I guess you could say I was stretching my channeling muscles, but her energy, I can feel it in my body and my head, and it's definitely very unique. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a wonderful week. And looks like November, or I guess Halloween, is coming soon. So I will be running some holiday specials coming up November 1st. I'm in the process of designing them, so stay tuned for that. And have, again, a wonderful week. Thank you.